Hi, Phil Aston here from Now Spinning Magazine, and this is an update on the music biz, specifically in the UK. You know, I do these videos on a fairly frequent basis now, where I look at CD sales, vinyl sales, etc., and streaming, and just try and dig amongst all the stats and give you my opinion to what I feel is going on. And although I've done lots of videos about saying CDs still rock, which they do, I am a fan of all formats. And as you see, I review CD box sets, I review vinyl albums, I review things from the past and the present and new releases. And I said in my last video on this subject that people talking about CD revival is here and all those kind of newspapers and channels, etc. I think we've got it wrong. I think it's a physical music revival. So because vinyl is doing really well and CDs are starting to do really well, and all formats are valid. You know, fans like any format they'll choose. I think where we're heading is that people will going to shift towards buying the CD because it's cheaper, it fits in with their lifestyle, and then for that special release they're going to look for a more elaborate box set or the vinyl. But anyway, the reason for this video is, and I shall bring things up on the screen as I go through it, is a new post on the Music Week website, which is actually from the BPI, and it says the BPI recorded music trade is up, revenue is up 13% in 2021, and physical releases outperforms streaming growth for the first time. Now, streaming isn't going away, but I think what's happening is it's leveling off. Things can only increase and climb to a certain point. It's the way of life. It's the way things are. So I'm going to, as I say, I'll bring some things up as I go through this. So yes, streaming has done really well in itself, and you know the music business is doing fantastically well. You know, back from the doldrums of a few years ago. But revenue from physical formats on CD and vinyl grew at a faster rate than streaming by up to 14.6% to £241 million. These figures coincided with the increase of number of indie record shops, which went from 390 in 2020 to 407 in 2021. Isn't that fantastic? There are more record shops in the UK than there were the year before. You know, and I think that is just fantastic. I live in the far reaches of Cornwall in the UK, and the fact that now there are little villages and towns where I can find a shop that sells records, you know, is wonderful. But I think the fact that the confidence is growing, that people, entrepreneurs are thinking, shall I open a little indie record shop? And they're doing that, and they're selling records, and they're now into this landscape, people going in and buying albums. And in Record Collector magazine, they do an interview with a record shop every month, and they'll ask what shifts the most. And everybody is saying that CDs are also selling really well as vinyl. Vinyl revenue has soared. It's up by 34%. And as it says here, thanks to rising prices. Some of the prices are bonkers. I mean, it's up to £117.2 million. I went into HMV the other day and I saw Dave Gilmour's On an Island album. It was £11.99 on CD, and it was £49.95 on vinyl. It's a gatefold sleeve. Perhaps it comes with the lyrics. But that's a lot of money, isn't it? 50 quid. Maybe it was a mistake, but that's how much it was, as you can see here from this photograph. And that was just the other day. But the real achievement for the industry, as it goes on to say, is a growth of 1.4% up. For CD revenue went up to £115.9 million, the first increase since 2017. Now, CD still generates slightly more than vinyl for labels and artists, but I think that is going to change because of the price difference. You know, Adele's album was £35 on vinyl, and it's 10 quid on a CD. So, there we have it, really. The CD format benefited from superstar releases like Adele and Ed Sheeran, ABBA, and ABBA's Voyage album was also the #1 album on vinyl as well. And it says here from Jeff Taylor, as the chief executive, BPI, Brit Awards and Mercury Prize guy, said the UK music market's return to growth has been driven by streaming. It has, there's no doubt about it. And then there's more people signing up for streaming platforms, especially, as I say, new subscriptions, which grew 13% last year and made up of 88% of streaming revenues, or 58% of total revenues. So you can see that everybody's having a great time. Now, in this chart, if you can see it, so I'll bring this up over me, you can see how streaming, which is the kind of mustardy colour here, has just grown and grown and grown. But as you can see here, in the last 2 years, 2020, 2021, it's basically levelled off. And it's levelled off as the physical market has now started to also stabilise. So you've got CD and vinyl almost equal in the physical market, and I think that's great for record collectors. As you say, as I've said, streaming is the radio for me, and I think for music collectors, whether you buy CD or vinyl, we might be a niche, but as you can see from that chart, we make up that part of the chart, and we're not going anywhere. And I go to lots of record shops wherever I can, and the demographic of the people in there is probably everything from early 20s to people like me, and it's a good mix of male and female, and I think it's very healthy. And I think the last video I did on this, where Warner's and Sony said that they had great future for the CD, and I think that's the case. Cherry Red are still doing lots of CD box sets, and they're also now starting to sign and release their own artists on vinyl and CD. And I think that what we're seeing here is good news. The other reason why I want to do this video is that when I started this channel, people just felt it was like all or nothing, that no one bought this stuff anymore. If you went to a record shop, you were doing something that was nobody wanted, but no one was really doing that. Your CDs behind you, whatever, you were on your own. But I think what we're seeing now is that people are proudly displaying their physical album collections and talking about them on the Now Spinning Facebook group. I'd still say that most of the posts are CD posts, but people post vinyl. And I think that there are lots of Facebook groups where it's kind of CD only or vinyl only, and I think it's not how I think. It's not how a lot of music fans think. I buy music and I buy the format I want to buy. I don't go to think of any fashion now. If I buy a CD, it's because I think, that looks a good format. I might buy the double CD, like the Scorpions. I bought the single CD version, but there's a great 2 CD version. There's a vinyl version. Sometimes there's more collectibles like box sets and stuff. But there's a format for everyone. But I think for the artists, the best way of supporting an artist is to buy a physical product. And if you buy it directly from the artist, from their Bandcamp page, or directly from the website, there's a good chance you'll get an autographed copy. You might even get some extra things bundled in with it. Sometimes I've reviewed things here and people have said, I've been onto Amazon and I can't find it, or it's really expensive, and I've been on eBay, I can't find it. Go to the artist's website. Buy it directly from them. We live in magical times in some respects, where you can actually go straight to the artist and talk to them. Amazing. When I grew up, you had to write to a music paper and see if your letter would get passed on to somebody, lofty record company, maybe they'd pass it on to someone. You couldn't get near anyone, but now you can. You can support the artist directly. Sometimes there are crowdfunder things and everything. But anyway, I'm going off topic, aren't I? The key thing I wanted to say here was that physical, to back up to the top of my page that I can see in front of me, that physical albums, physical releases, have outperformed streaming growth for the first time. It's great being a music collector, isn't it? It really is. There's some great stuff coming up along the horizon. It's an exciting time. It's really good, especially, in the times we find ourselves in. So keep spinning those records. Remember, music is the healer. It will help us through whatever's going on around us. So take care, and I shall see you on my next video.